Mike, I'm going to start with you. Tell me about the emotions you felt as you went through the process of making this outstanding film and telling the story, watching your life play out, on screen.
Well, first of all, I didn't make the film, nor did I tell the story. That was Mr. Frank Marshall, who's sitting to my left.
Oh, I've got a question for him too.
I know, but what I just want to make it clear that I didn't make the documentary. But what I did do is give up some photographs and family photos and whatever I could to help add to the soup. But as far as making it and the decisions and whether we wanted to see any particular outcome, no. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought about this is outstanding that more than 60 years after we started, somebody's making a documentary on it. That somebody is Frank Marshall, and where it's going to air is Disney Plus. So, I mean, it's worldwide, and it's amazing.
That is really cool. Al, I want to know about the emotions as you reflect back and you watch this again. You guys put everything out there, and I watched it with Mom. Tell me what you were feeling as you watched the final film version go out.
Speaking of your mom, I was thinking about my mom when she was represented in the film as having rented our gear for us. And it was quite touching, I thought, the way that came across, because not many people know that story. And just seeing the old vintage photographs of us playing, it was a nice walk down memory lane. It was a beautiful experience.
Frank, what surprised you as you uncovered the layers of this outstanding story? I mean, I hate to say this, guys, right in front of you, but you're legends. You've inspired so many. You've introduced the world to music, including myself. I look up to y'all just in a huge way. But Frank, what surprised you as you put this together?
Well, how complicated it was. It wasn't just four or five guys in a band and they just took off. The people came and went. There were challenges to overcome, and the challenge was that Brian didn't want to tour anymore. So they left him at home, and he was able to create, without the pressures of being on the road, create all this beautiful music. And while they were out on the road, and then they came back in and they did their part and sung. And so it was this blend of things, and that there were actually two Beach Boys groups, the one at home and the one on the road. And that was something different that I discovered in talking to them, and I think it's part of the reason that they were so unique.
Good Vibrations, Help Me Rhonda, God Only Knows. I interviewed Brian, by the way, a couple of years ago with John Cusack. So I got to meet Brian as well a couple of in Austin, and that was an incredible experience as well. But those are my favorite songs. I'm just curious, Mike, do you have a favorite?
I do not have a favorite per se, but I have a favorite for whatever mood you're in. Like The Warmth of the Sun is one if you're in a somber, reflective mood and you're thinking about the one that got away, perhaps, and you were in love with somebody, but it didn't happen. So, but it's still you had the warmth of the sun, meaning the feeling and the memory of having felt that euphoria that being in love is all about. But then there's up-tempo stuff like I Get Around, Fun, 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 Surfing USA. How can you not, jump up and get excited and get involved? So, but California Girls is fantastic, Like you mentioned Good Vibrations, but you didn't mention Kokomo, which went to #1 in 1988, was #1 for 8 weeks in Australia.
Kokomo's on my list too. I do love that one.
Well,
Looking back at your career, outstanding career, and everything that you've done and the relationships you've had, to you, what is the most important thing that you all have contributed to the world of entertainment?
I think harmony and positivity, which is needed more now than ever. Harmony and positivity. So I think those are the two great things that we collectively imparted and created, and it still is going on to this day. Our music is uplifting people and giving them a source of joy and happiness, and that's amazing. That's wonderful.
That's very true. You hear a Beach Boys song and you instantly get that smile. Al, I want to get your thoughts, the legacy that you all have contributed to the world of entertainment. But I also want to know, were you there in the room? And I believe it's also in the film, no spoilers, but when the name Beach Boys was there Did everybody agree and say, yeah, this is what we're going to go with? Or were there arguments? Or I have to know.
We had no choice. We were called the Pendletons, and some say Pendletones, after our sweaters that we used for uniforms. And the label, they tried to get a name for us. They even tried the Surfaris, but it was already taken. And so the thing they ended up, and we didn't know until it was printed on the label of the record itself. The Beach Boys was printed, so we didn't have much. We couldn't really backtrack after that. We were
because it was a hit. Then it became a hit, so we got to go with it.
Had to go with it.
That is insane. What a story.